Welcome, viewers. It's another moment where we sit and discuss an important matter. Inti ene eye asem kesiye yede asem kesiye bi atopono so aye ba bedi hu abobo. And this morning we are looking at youth development. We are going to be looking at youth development not at the level of the Methodist alone, but also nationally. In the meantime, let me first welcome my brother, Osofo Gideon Osabote. Osofo, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Before I introduce my other discussant, we were just talking about the blasters behind the blasters behind the scene. Osofo, what was your impression with this blasters thing? Did you get a heartache?
Also, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Sure.
I think it's a competition, and then they've done their bit. They've done so well. I think we really congratulate them for the work that they've done so far. Anybody can come out. Anybody can come to the house or go to the house. So I believe that they've done their best. Let's not blame them so much. Let's believe for the best. So that is what I would say.
Also, you've been so gentle. Don't let the preacher overtake you. You are being too sympathetic. All right, so that is just by the way. Also, for Gideon was just in your show. We also have with us our sister Gloria Kochoy Kole Glover. Have I mentioned that? Kochoy, as in climbing a tree.
Cho, not cho.
Oh. Okay, Kocho.
Yes.
All right. Honestly, I'm seeing the name just very Kocho for the first time.
It's because you know how to spell it the Gan way. The
This
Gan
is
will
not the
be
Gan.
T-S-O-O. But the English way is
Oh,
C-H.
this is the English way.
So my father says.
What spell here English me? All right, Gloria, you are welcome. So Gloria is the Accra Diocesan chairman of the Methodist Youth Fellowship. Gloria, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
We had a nice time for our all night then.
Yes,
what was
did.
your impression?
Oh, I like the word. The way you give it to us as youth.
Okay.
We have to plan
Yeah.
how to go about things if you really want to make it. And
Okay.
it was
All right.
powerful.
Okay, so we thank two discussants for joining us this morning. As I reiterated, we are looking at youth development. How far has the Methodist young person come? Is the Methodist Church investing into the young people, and are the young people in turn giving back to the church? You can be sure that we'll end up asking ourselves the good old age question. Are the Methodist young people still living in the church? And if they are, why are they? And if they are not, why would they not? So let's start from Osofo Gideon. Osofo Gideon.
Yes, sir.
What, in your opinion, is youth development?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
In a simple term, you can say that you are training the young people to advance to a better state or a better level.
Okay.
So whatever you put in place for the young people, that will enhance their psychology, their emotion, their intellectual, their well-being, to make it better. That's what I mean by youth development, simply put.
All right, thank you. So in your definition, I could hear about three things. So spiritually, materially, physically, and even psychologically. Therefore means that almost all three aspects of the young person is taken care of.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Let's come to Gloria. Your own opinion. I'll go back to Osofo Gideon to see how spiritually we can develop. But before that,
I think youth development is an active process where we as youth are being equipped with skills, rich experience, knowledge, spiritual maturity
all right.
to become responsible adults.
Okay. Me na ke blofo e bafa. She ke vie o ke ga ke Osofo Gideon wa anya wi dangbeku e ke tu e fe bo no wi o tu fio.
My tree doesn't tree.
It's dead on arrival.
It's not too good.
Okay. All right. I think because it's youth and young people, the English will be giving a 99%, but once in a while, just throw in one Ghana vocabulary just to...
Ghana, yes.
Oh, that one?
Yes, I'm
All
Ghana.
right. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Also, for Gideon, the Methodist Church has a range for who a young person is. Who is a young person according to the Methodist Church?
According to the Methodist Church, in
Yeah.
our policy, we stated from 12 to 35.
Oh, okay.
They have been advocate that we should extend it to 40.
Okay.
But we're still looking at the policy. But as I speak right now, it's from 12 to 35.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So when you are between 12 to 35, you are supposed to belong to a certain young people's group or organization or association. What are some of them?
Okay. When you are in this age, you have the 12 to 17, or we call it teenagers. Okay. Then we have the 18 to 24, which we call the mid-youth.
Okay.
Then we have the 25 35, which we call the young adult.
Okay.
But you see, when you are between these ages 12 to 35, you can join groups like MYF, Methodist Youth Fellowship. You can join the AMB, Association of Methodist Brigades. You can join the Girls Fellowship, as in the MGA, Methodist Girls Fellowship. And then when you're in the schools, you can join the GAMSU, the student and Methodist students that are in school. But then we coordinate with the children ministry coordinators that handle the children ministry, so that we know that the 12 people that are at the age of 12 years old are also in the children's service, and the teen service, they are the young adult service. So it's a shared responsibility between the children ministry coordinators and then the youth development ministry in the bed.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Gloria, have you been approached by any of the other organizations to become a member, even within ages 12 to 35? So you are still within this age, obviously. Other than that, we wouldn't have made you a chairman. Okay, have you been approached by, because there are incidents where people have said the other organizations, Christ Little Band, Suma, even Women's Fellowship, are quickly coming for the younger people so they could train them to occupy their positions when they are gone? Have you been approached by any of such?
The approach is a weekly thing.
Okay.
It's normal.
Come to
Very
so come
often.
to so. Okay.
Very
Why do
often.
you think so?
Okay, I think from afar, they observe the work we are doing. They appreciate what we are doing as young people, and they would want us to come and help them.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
Don't we need to create capacity for our young people? Because if all of them are leaving.
Well, from where I sit, I think averagely people belong to more than one organizations.
Okay.
So it has become a norm, which others would, the adult organizations would encourage you to add it on to your youth organization.
Okay, so you could be an MYF and possibly Christ Little Band.
Yes.
And is that the case? Do you have examples of such?
Oh, a lot.
Okay.
Even some of my officers, yes.
They do so.
Yeah.
Also for Gideon, is that not the conflict? Doesn't it bring... Okay, Christ Little Band has a program and the brigade has a program. Won't it conflict?
Question and Obiole.
All right.
Okay. Most of the organizations, the other organizations, want to push the young people. But sometimes we'll come back, I'm not feel ni I'm a developer. Yeah, I can push them too early. I'm a formative stage. I'm a new issue. We can blame or yakeba adults too much. It will they should allow them to go to the process a little bit. So for them to their biblical fundamentals to be a little richer, so they can be metamorphosed to the adult organization. So we have these cases, but we are still pleading with them. Policy-wise and constitution-wise, I mean, we are all drawing members to our fellowship. So I wouldn't say that they shouldn't do, but we are pleading with them that they should allow the young people to go to this formative stage. When you come at the few, then they can go to the adult stage, then they can be able to acclimatize themselves with what is done in this adult organization. Trust me, this adult organization, some of them don't really understand what is going on. And some of them they are confused because they don't really know what is really going on. So I'm actually gonna go to the teen service, the young adults, the youth, and then by that time I'm a mature few. Since we are all maturing people to Christ Jesus, let's use the gift and grace and the Bible as a manual, let's develop it a little bit. When it comes about joint adult group, they'll be much more efficient for us to use them. That's my plea.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to wanted also for Gideon to tell us what really the various young organizations do and what they stand for. But let's start with you talking about the Methodist Youth Fellowship. What do they do and what do they stand for?
So we equip the young ones to become responsible adults. We also help them to grow spiritually. At the young age, peer-to-peer influence is great as compared to even parents to children relationship, because we go to the university, spend greater number of months in school than even at home on vacation and all that. So we are more concerned about helping each other grow both spiritually and physically.
So your three W's.
We work, we witness, we worship.
Okay, can you link them to what you have said?
So we work.
How do you work?
And we work in the church. When it comes to church cleaning, you always laugh it.
When it comes to church
Exactly,
cleaning,
exactly.
We help.
Yeah.
you help.
We help.
I'm a minister of the Methodist Church.
Oh, of course, awful. Tell me where there is a case we haven't had young people get involved, even in cleanups.
Oh, they do.
But we want
there's-
more.
Well, there's also that challenge where we need to beg at times. See, we want that initiative, and that is what I'll be asking later when it comes to how the Methodist young person is capacitated for the world, for Ghana, for family. Because if what we learn in church is good enough, then we can, for example, take it to Deloitte. All right, so let's so you work. Yes, we work for church, and then you work for what again?
For the house,
Okay.
for our workplaces,
Okay. All right.
for society.
Okay, and the second W,
We witness.
you witness.
We go out for evangelism. Even our day-to-day lives that we lead,
Okay.
believe is a way of witnessing.
All right, and the last one.
We worship.
All right, that is obvious. Also, for Gideon, let's take the other young people organization. Before now, we can zoom in into the Methodist Youth and Ghana. Yes.
Thank you very much. In Kenoko few after and in sister you Methodist Youth Fellowship and Amake, they are the elite of the church. Previous that was what was seen by them.
Elite Ake Amete Sukun.
Previously,
all right,
but
okay.
I'll come to explain
Okay.
the other ones.
Very
We work. Some of them are leaders in the church. Aside the cleanup, they involve themselves in the coordinated offices, the secretary to let's meet, other things. They work. They get themselves involved in leadership, and then other things in the church. And then the witness. They always go out. They are the people that are called upon to go out. It was wherever they find themselves. You need a youth, the MYF, to help propagate the gospel. And the worship we are believing, their total being will be total surrender to the Lord. So their life will be an example to men, other men. So whatever they say, whatever they do, the way they dress should be something that will draw men to the Lord Jesus. Be adored to the Lord Jesus. Now called by MGF, Methodist Girl Fellowship, and called Living Pure for Christ. Basically, it starts for this vocational activities. Previously, please, I said previously.
The situation is not that now.
I'm coming there.
Okay.
I'm a pancake, I'm a buffalo, I'm a few these skills. I'm a few B. So basically, for people that I'm a other things. So other people I'm a small vocation. I'm a others in the this vocation. But then you realize that I'm a metamorphose. They've changed right now. It's not like before. And to put a record, I've been part of Girls Fellowship before.
Oh, as a member?
Yeah, I'm a member. When you check the connection. Exactly. Because my mother was a caretaker. You see. So we're the first boys in the Girls Fellowship.
Oh, okay.
So those times it's about Obasha, pancake, other things and the rest. But a metamorphose. But I'm a Girls Fellowship, a master's degree. But I'm a PhD degree. So it is not like the pancake again.
Okay.
I met mixed a little bit. So I'm a chon entrepreneurship skills. I'm a chon hygiene. I'm a chon other things to be a virtuous woman. So I'm a balancer because there are not people that, excuse my language, they are not illiterate again, but there are people, I'm not saying people that were illiterate, but more of them were that. But right now you have more literates who are more academicians, some are lecturers even. Okay. I'm a balancer, things that will help them to fit into society. So they still do the beads and other things to complement what is trending now, to be able to fit into society. So I believe the girls have spoken your mind. Please don't. All right.
But people say the Girls Fellowship make the best wives. Is it a myth?
It is not a myth. It is not a myth.
Do I let you answer that? Girls Fellowship, the best wives. Have you been to Girls Fellowship before?
No.
Okay, all right.
But I'm a patron.
Oh, okay. Are they the best wives?
It depends on the angle we are looking at it from.
Okay.
But I believe a youth member makes the best
Oh, I feel campaign.
Oh, what was so for? Bonnet ballet.
Okay. All right. So let's continue.
They are virtuous women. Okay. So I wouldn't say they are the best wives because youth fellowship to have ladies.
Okay. People say because of the way they are trained, they are actually taken through the rudiments of family life. So we know where Ashablodoshi, they will go to school as well. So by the time they became whatever they have, they would have learned all the rudiments of.
Bona, the character, Mokoya character, Obano Okase name fan, but character,
okay.
And that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say they will be the best, but they are virtuous women. Okay. We are trying consciously to train them to be virtuous women. Okay. The same as the MYF. So I wouldn't say, I would say they will be a good wife.
Okay.
Youth fellowship be also a good wife, but then their character will transform from they having that regenerated spirit, a bit born again spirit, have the Lord to work on them and their character. So the skills that they will learn and the knowledge that they gain will just make up for them to become the best of wives. Okay. All right. So when it comes to A and B, yes. When it comes to A and B, it's a Association of Methodist Brigades. Okay. When I fashion me tomo ketchon kefitomo military, they like military. I also been brigade before. Okay. So from Girl Fellowship I went to brigade. Okay. So and I was blowing the trumpet. So I've been inside before. So you realize that at Trinidad military, the much of it is more of drills. I'm a macho. They go to expeditions. They have head of states award, and it's much more educational something. So I may engage themselves in this more military aspect, and then they serve as, want a better word, the police of the Methodist Church. Let me put it that way. Okay. So anything security like call on them, and they can be able to help. And they also discipline them. I mean, to make sure that they become men of integrity, boys of integrity. Okay. So you run through the scale to, senior boys to lieutenants, and then we'll move to MYF Darang. Okay. Now you go to which other guys have I left?
Oh, you only spoke about the boys within the A and B. What about the girls as well?
Exactly. The girls too, we have the girls in the A and B. We have the GB and the BB. Yeah. These are the councils, but A and B, better say Ango there. So you have the girls too there from there. You can have some from 5 years up to the top. That's what I'm saying, that we coordinate with the children music coordinator, so we can have these people being trained very well. So they have girls from the teens or from the younger ones to the teens to the adult. Now when they are also growing, we have girls officers, girls captain. They also go for captain training, they go for training, other trainings that help equip them to be able to become, as I said, virtuous women. So you see, around through the YDM is generally enhancing the young people under us to become better people of the church. Okay. So you can say that MYF is the backbone of the church. You can say that AMB is the military of the church. You can say that the Girl Fellowship are the people that you can say, I want to go there. Are the women of the picture we can really trust. I don't want to use a particular word. But you can see that the Gamsu people in school too, we don't want to leave them behind. Yeah, got to school say come on a pencil or other ones. On a but Ashi Gamsu be a Ashi Methodist be. So we put them there. They can also come together and fellowship. Because you know what chon me your school come and bashian, there will not be a gap. I want to correct this. Like a cote Gamsu. None of me feel your school. It's the same thing that me feel or feel Asafwe, the church. But just that the difference is that it's among them. So want a better they gel among themselves. It was a la singing sing and you'll be I'm sure. I'm a la fair, I'm a la hymn, I'm a canticle, tidium. But it's like the zeal it's more of the young people. But come a banner.
No, mommy, no papa, and your uncle. You can't come and you'll be no show me.
They dance have a jaw face, very much vigorous.
Yes.
But whatever they do in Gamsu, it's the same thing of your year.
Okay.
But just that the bridge of the gap have to be bridged. So in a nutshell, this is what it's about.
Okay.
But nonetheless, those people who don't belong to any of these organizations, the YDM as YDM will go out for them to try to educate them on these organizations. Koni ameba join any of the organization. But if they are still dragging, we still bring them under our umbrella. And then we organize this Giant Slayers Summit. And we train them about the church, what's in the church. Koni ko Teshana Kenya Ntoye, you'll be able to handle it. But that kind of conference and training. A lot of people, some of them don't even belong to the organization, but they come and learn. After we learn and pray, they say, oh, I want to join this, and they join this. So it's the job of the YDM to be able to train anybody in organization or not in organization to be able to be part of a church.
All right. Also, you brought a certain acronym which was going to be my next question. YDM. What is the YDM, and how has the YDM influenced capacity building for the workplace? And Gloria, I'll be asking you how YDM, and for that matter, the church and what you occupy now as a member of the youth fellowship has built your work life. But I think also for Gideon will start YDM. What is YDM?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
YDM is the Youth Development Ministry, Youth Development Ministry. It was first Youth Division, but it has moved to YMD, then it changed to YDM.
Okay.
This time, not that we're focusing, but we are really focusing now on developing the young person. Previously, we're not developing them.
Okay.
But then we want to be intentional. So we want to really develop, enhance them.
Okay.
And the question will come from that.
All right.
So YDM is a coordinating body. It's not an organization. It will coordinate all the young people from 12 to 35.
Okay.
It will care organizations fall under this age group. They fall under our jurisdiction.
Okay. Society, there will be a leader who is coordinated. Who is that leader that coordinates all of them?
Okay, come on back down to
Very
so
well.
we'll start from society, where YDM, where Society Youth Organizer, where coordinator all these organizations plus any other young person under this jurisdiction.
Okay.
It will is more of the secretary to the coordinator office for education at the society level.
Right.
They call by secretary ISCYO, Second Youth Organizer. The coordinator all these organizations that is under this age range I've mentioned, and other ones who don't belong to any of the organization. And then he also serves as the secretary coordinator of the Office for Education and Youth. They're called Badao system, and then DYO. Or the SYO, the CYO, they all report, there's a structure they report up to. Then the DYO pick it up from there and also report to the synod. But I always say this to my young people, okay? Called by let me go to circuit. I am circuit chairman of MYF. I am circuit chairman for MGF and the rest. I'm a chairman for the organization, but they are not above the CYO. They work parallel to the church. So CYO will be under the chairman of the MYF. MYF chairman is quite controversial. That's why I'm taking my time. Under the CYO. On a CYO reporter straight to the DYO. But on a CYO coordinator, all the reporter of the circuit organization, of which the circuit chairman and the rest are part, and they won't fan like a DYO. But we realize like a circuit chairman only yet many a coordinator. Well, that respect is due. So I tell my young people back there, okay, CYO give respect to the chairman what is due them, give it to them. Chairman to give respect to them and can move from there.
Okay.
And the DY will say, when you're director, near top, or coordinate reporter, but okay, hand director, level it puts all together. But he also does not put aside the connectional organizational heads, because they also have some reports. It will work very well. Okay, the reporting about DYU is the same report that CYO is having, or the circuit chairmen are having. So let me put a connection now. The reporting about director is a report from the Diocesan AMB, Diocesan MYF, Diocesan MGF, and the rest. It will and Gamsu. I mean, no one come about a connectional chairman, and the report na make it should be the same report they're giving to their chairman. Going a connectional chairman come like a director, our report will not conflict each other, because you are reporting to the so can have a feed to feed the synod. Then I can feed the director. What I report about my Diocesan MYF, the connectional chairman, what you are reporting about my Diocesan MYF will not conflict with what I'm reporting. We all agree. So we work hand in hand to make things work.
Fantastic.
Look about YDM. I want, because we are on set, I want to just read. I want to paraphrase.
Very much so.
So our guiding principle as YDM, though we are trying to review the policy, we are doing it gradually. But then our guiding principle one is to bring every young person to a full realization as an avowed disciple of Christ, called to active ministry of the church. So call in Joel chapter 2:28. When our raised disciple, we claim we have become like Christ. So we make others what we have become. So we make them disciples and active members of the church. 2, to train every young person for active membership and leadership in the church. By YDM, we have a lot of leadership programs. Leadership for SYOs, leadership program for DYOs, leadership program for all leaders, to train them so they can in turn go train the people that they are leading. 3, to help every young person to attain fullness of life in body, mind, and spirit. You have gone to equip them, but before you spoke to their mind.
That's right.
You make sure that they listen to what you are saying. After listening, you delve to the spirit aspect. And then this is what we try to do. We come and draw a program, I'm a draw all night retreat. So ministers come, but you speak to their mind first. And then if there are other things that is worrying them, you address it. Then you link it to the spiritual aspect prayer. And then you're addressing the whole being of the young person. Then the last one that we have here is to make certain that the affairs of the young people or youth are ever kept before the whole church, and that young people are constantly brought in closest contact with the church in partnership with adults and children. So came by YDM again. In your domo synod here, you might condemn young people. I won't do that. I'll just tell them what the young people are doing and present the work they are doing. But can young people what the young early people want me to tell them that they are doing that is wrong. That is where I put discipline there. But I will not expose them at the upper end. And I believe the director too doesn't do that. He brings what we have done so far and our recommendation. But can you hear a conference, I listen to the one who as DY or director. Okay, well, I meet a man, then we'll put things in shape. So Jack will know, we listen very well, but we can't expose them there. Okay, the context they find themselves is very slippery. We need to understand where they're coming from. The generation that you were in when you're young is not the generation we are in now. And when I tell most of our young people, or most of the DWAs and most of the CYK, learn the modern trends of the young people now. We don't learn, there will be a gap. But if you can be able to learn what is really happening now, then coach them through, mentor them in a Methodist eye. They will appreciate it. But among the young people now, and you have your own preference in your mind still, and you forgo what they're going through, then there's friction. Not sure that's what I was saying.
Very much well. Asafo Gideon, I think you are exposing us to some deep things that hitherto we have not thought about, and that for me is very instructive. Even for some of our members, they probably hadn't seen the organizational tree that way. And the fact that DYOs represent the mind of the director in the various diocesan positions. Also, works for the bishop as well in terms of how the bishop wants all other things. Dear viewers, we are looking at youth development and more importantly looking at how the Methodist youth or young person is prepared for the outside world. So with all these things that Osofo Diwayo has said, Gloria, how has the Methodist youth been capacitated for the outside world?
Okay, I would use myself as an example. I was a secretary all my life in the Methodist Youth Fellowship, and it really puts me out in the workplace. It positioned me well. I work for a multinational, so when it comes to we having meetings, as soon as I walk into a meeting with my boss, impulsively I just start writing minutes. The nature of my work, you'll be required to write minutes and put it on file and all that. So it becomes part of you. You do it without even noticing it. You do it without even having a feel of it. By the time you realize someone is watching you from behind, my boss is like, I didn't tell you to write minutes, but you wrote it. Oh, that's good of you. It positions you at the workplace. Okay. It also grooms you. You have morals. Leading young people, it gives you the exposure on how to speak, how to relate to the young ones. And then we also take it to the workplace. We know how to address our authorities. We know how to address our peers and people that we are even training. Because the nature of our work, for the formal sector, even the informal, you have people under you which you would have to train them. So it gives us the training skills as well.
So won't somebody say that the church has not helped the young person enough? That is why the person is not getting a job. So more wow. So sorry name why. As a young person and leading, and for that matter, a lady, of course, I understand you are the first lady chairman.
Yes,
have you had any lady chairman for Tema ever?
Yeah.
Oh, there has been.
Yes.
But for Accra, this is the first time. All right, so June 2. That's right. Okay, so some people do some more wow. Sorry, name why. What will you say to that?
I think the church is doing its best, but like we always say, there's always room for improvement.
Okay.
The church is doing its best. From where I sit, the people that work even in the church office and all that, from my end, most of them are young people. So the church is playing its role. When job opportunities come, from even on my church platform, when job opportunities come, they place it over there to create awareness on people. Sometimes even in our announcements, it's done. But I think what others are also expecting the church to do as a whole.
What are they expecting the church to do? See, sometimes the young people are expecting the church to do something we can't actually see, but you want us to naturally.
No.
What is it? Say it.
So I think we want to see that this company has been created and it's employing young people.
Oh, by the Methodist Church?
Yes.
So the Methodist Church has formed a certain company, let's say MIPL.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, which I can tell you has a lot of Methodists working.
Yes.
Is that not enough?
It's not enough looking at the numbers.
Okay.
So aside MIPL, what other entity can be created to employ other people? Not just formal, how about the informal side?
But can we employ everybody who wants to work within?
It's not possible. We can try, but it's not possible to employ everybody. Even at the national level, it's not everyone government can employ. That's why the private sector is there. So the church is doing well, but we can do better.
Okay. Well, I will go to Osofo Gideon, but I still want, you are a leader. What is it your people are saying the church is not doing in terms of youth development? You want? Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. I believe Kake Church, who is the church? We are the church. Look at the church, who is not given the job? The church. They have given people responsibility to coordinate other people.
Okay.
So, Siwa, what are you doing? Diwa, what are you doing? As I speak right now, I have some of my Siwas who are assemblymen. Because we sometimes intentionally bring politicians to come and speak to them.
Okay.
We tell them politics is not for the world. It's for the children of God. You need to go there and make a difference. Some of them are some of them are working in the offices of MPs. And I tell them, let your light shine there. And sometimes opportunities come, we post on the page, and then some of them get opportunities. Sometimes DYOs, some companies call you and say that we believe in your integrity. We want somebody from it. And we recommend people to go. And in the church, we have people that have jobs. So we ask them to kindly mentor other young people who want to become like them. But the challenge now, I'm a work we can be here. Some of them, they stab them at the back.
Wow. So also forget you are bringing another dimension. So you being a DYO for all those while saying that look, the church is actually the church as a Methodist church is helping young people in terms of placing them in employment, making some opportunities very clear. Can you emphatically say the church has not let the young people down in terms of that?
I would say the church has not let the young people down. Why am I saying that?
Okay.
The church has recognized that the young people need leadership to coordinate. That's why it brought director, the youth development, to bring plans to help the young people. You wouldn't say that our presiding bishops should always pay attention to the young people. They have other directorates. So what is the directorate bringing on board for the church to look at? So it left for the leaders to bring something on board. I know the director has done something that right now. We had a Zoom meeting, and he has identified with the GAMSU coordinator. Okay, most of the GAMSU members worship under trees. And I believe that the church has requested the people, the GAMSU that have buildings that have not been completed, they have structures, should bring it. And the church is ready to help them complete it. He's pushing the agenda forward. And the other thing that the director and the coordinator has to push across. So if we get to know the problem, we just tell the bishop or the president, this is what we think the problem. And they said, so what do you think we can do for you? And then director and the YDM has also coordinated with the National Theatre for this culture, other things. I see Pentecost having MOU with Jospond, and then they said they are going to hire the young people for entrepreneurship, internship, and the rest. In a way, the YDM connection have done the National Theatre. Gradually, we are getting there. So you see, in the diocese too, we find schools, private schools that want teachers. We call the young people. As I speak this year, I've made some of the young people, about 7 of them, to be employed. They call me, they said they want somebody who is very good morally, who is very good. And they don't need somebody who is disobedient. I have to check on my CYOs to get me somebody. And they've employed some few people. And there's other companies that we need people to manage this. I have some young people who are administrators in oil firm right now.
Gloria appears shocked. It's as if you are shocked. Are you shocked that DYO is saying this? What are your people saying we are not doing? DYO also says that people are getting obviously out of the many who want jobs, only 7 could be giving a particular job. But me now me call Yeshipon. What are they saying?
I mean, can one born with the children, okay? But one born with him one more day. She few. Where it's too slow.
But they are still complaining.
Oh, complaints wohenini.
Okay.
Would once we are uncomfortable with something, we'll complain.
Okay.
Mokoye kejebeni COVID by Nuchuma Ifite. You know, COVID had a toll on people. And as a young person, Konuchuma Ifite within COVID, a year or two, na Konuchuma, OCV no FA blank for some time. Got the interview, a discreditable few. It's not J-Bo fault in Shinakaya Bale. Getting back on track becomes difficult. But here's the case, you have to ask yourself, is it only the formal way? You can go the informal way as well, trying to work for your own self. There's nothing as good as working for your own self when you're your own boss. That's what I think we should drive more as a church. Like DYO said, given mentoring schemes in place. We have a mentoring schemes in place, but do we have the credit facility to support it? And I'll say this to my young ones too. When we are given the credit facilities, we should redeem them. Some of the circuits have credit facilities. I can't have a loan. Okay, actually, you don't want to pay back. How can we get the money back to give it to another person to also wear? So we are the same people that will complain, but we end up shooting ourselves in the foot.
So I just wanted to add a bit. None of we have established Youth Development Fund.
Okay.
Most of it has been approved by conference long time, and the DAOs have to pick it up. I know you know, Kobatema, Youth Development Fund. What sponsor, we are from St. Paul. What sponsor Pikete's universities? One BM fees. Recently, Ebenezer Society. I mean, they are sponsoring people for entrepreneurship, work, other things. So it's, as I said, leadership. It's left for leaders to pick it up. Can you form? So why, what do you call Youth Development Fund? Have you formed it? Are you supporting the young people? But one thing that I say that is driving some of the young people away, I'll beat the positive and negative side, I'll say. They are saying that we are not mentoring them. There's lack of mentorship. And I could tell other places say, I mentor, they're intentional in mentorship. But we are not intentional. But come out the other side, a leader pick a particular young person. Neke boy ham kwake o mentor. Neke hanle ni e wo no few no ni padima papa le efang be few pe. Then you think you are the boss. Before you come back, you don't even show respect to the one who has even given you something to work. To work. So sometimes, as I say, character of the young people. Some of them are, most of them are good, but others say, "Nichumo buta mechu, shikaona me now buta mechu," and then they start puffing up. So I believe that the young people, when opportunity comes, they should try to take it and still be humble. And then I'll just plead with the CYOs and the DUOs are doing it. They should try to do the Youth Development Fund so the young people can have opportunity to further education. Another thing we are also doing that we have had training whereby people outside the country can train the young people who want to further their education outside the country.
Okay.
I know you have seen some of them. We do some of them. We did some of the young people in Tema have moved.
Yeah.
And then they are schooling. And I tell them that when you go in school, come back and help the nation Ghana.
So it's as if the church is doing much. Is it a case, maybe let me come to close. Is it a case that the church is not trumpeting what we have done? Because look at the itinerary and the things DYO is talking about. It doesn't seem we are even doing more than the people they claim we are not doing much more.
Okay, so I think it's our style of communicating and going about things. I was having a conversation with a group of people about 2 weeks ago, and I was surprised a particular church, their style of mentoring is they allocate a brother to an older person, like let's say a CEO, like direct mentorship. So one CEO, one boss has about 10 young people under him or her, which he or she has to mentor and make sure like they are okay in terms of work, in terms of, this is very direct. That's their style.
But we are not
but
talking
our
about
style is, we usually have the forum seminar. That's our style.
But I recall
so
we have done some mentorship, especially I have been with Tema, so I can talk about Tema now. I'm in Accra.
Hey, today I'm flanked with Tema people. So
No, I'm not Tema, I'm Accra.
Project. You are Accra
I am
now.
Accra, yes. I'm former Tema.
You are former
so
Tema.
I can only talk. There have been cases of mentorship where, but also for Gideon was talking about people being taken on in jobs and the insubordination, the disrespect, and sometimes the mismanagement of money. So your own church member that you brought, sorry, and will be DSika, and you are so better.
The issue is we won't have 100% perfection.
All right,
We
so
would have the bad nuts, but I think the good nuts are way more than the bad nuts. So we should condemn what's bad, but we should encourage them.
But we are putting on record that the church is doing so much. But you are saying possibly the communication channel to trumpeting all this. And that's the reason we are having this show, to let young people know that, look, we are actually doing more. People don't even know where to channel their grievances to. Although Osofo Gideon has a hurricane, but Osofo Gideon, somebody says, why DM not necessary? Why should the second chairman report to both the CYO and the assistant chairman? Team's opposition leader. And then somebody, the Methodist Church has too many organizations, and that's a problem. Young people find it so confusing joining an organization, ending up in 2 or more. And meanwhile, some people are saying, Papa, more fire. Chairman Gloria, somebody is giving you some funds here. And we are told that Downwell Insurance Limited has collaborated with the YDM to hire young people who want to work like sales officers. And this is coming from Benedict Imbiabeding.
Our connectional chairman.
Connectional chairman of MY. He is watching. Ofambia Beding, we know you are watching. Keep your comments coming. Now, do you think the Methodist young person has any reason to leave the church?
Any reason? We would have individual differences. People's reasons vary, but I feel sometimes it's more emotional. People feel hurt.
Yeah. Can I open my phone lines? I understand people are behind and knocking. They want to ask DYO and Gloria a question. Today you are in trouble, young people. They will, right, 025-625-3461. 025-625-3461. Please go ahead.
I feel it's more emotional, but when we are emotionally intelligent, we'll manage things better. I always say there's always a better way of going about things.
Okay.
A typical example we can give ourselves: someone feels he or she lost their father and didn't get the congregation to come for the funeral. You know, people leave the church because of this. Someone also feels, I was going to school, I needed scholarship support, I didn't get it, or I got half, not enough. You leave and go. But the question is, hello, ya, jemede nchete yo thing. Bibi awo kone ho cry to sing.
But let's pick some comment. Benjamin Okang is still giving you as a chairman, Gloria Fire. We have Vivian and Sam who is saying, God bless you all for the good work watching you live from North America. And we have Akusia Sechi who said DYO 100%. Benedict Biabeding has come again with Downwall Insurance has collaborated with the YDM to hire young people who want to work like sales officers. Emmanuel Aqua, capacity building to help the youth in Accra. Charles, can you hear me? You are calling from Ebri.
Yes, please.
Yes, we are listening to you.
I would like to also add my voice to why people tend to leave the church. I think we tend to compare ourselves to other denominations so much. The extent that when we go there, we want to do what they are doing, but we don't want to do what we can do best in our church. Even when we are given the opportunity, we don't use it, but when we go there, we go and do it there. So I think as individuals, we should try and do what we can do best in our church, even if the opportunity is little. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Our phone lines are open. All young people, if you have the time to call, this is the time to call. I know your text messages are coming like that. Ashafo den aye kan ene DYO ene chairman Gloria Oma poto eguye so kakra. Na the omo pa atra ne se Methodist babunu no obi a asoro no boa no mo timi be obi a obetimi aboa oman ene ebusua. Tina mi bisa se die na asoro na ye ntia ye betimi aka se Methodist babunu ye de no kokosi simpie so ana ye de no kwadwuma bi mu obetumi aye no mo ka se enioma bebre wo ha ye enioma bebre wo asafone ye hunhum ene hunamu nti na diwa okra ka se tema de ye pedwuma kra ma ebinum na minim se enkran any other dioceses so ye pe enyo. But
yes, we do.
You do in Accra, right?
This year, I as a diocese MYF, we have capacity building.
Oh, fantastic!
In
fantastic.
August.
But there is Gloria on my phone. Gloria, you're calling from Takwa.
Yes, Reverend. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity. I think the discussion is well discussed, and the problem we youth are facing is we don't want the church to pass through us. We just want to pass through the church. That is what is affecting us, because we are talking about Girls Fellowship Brigade and the Youth Fellowship. When we go, you have to learn something. Try and also try to do something for yourself. And if you have any grievances, you just have to seek maybe the elders that will be just going about telling people and making it as if the church is bad. So I'll just advise us, we just have to try very much, because everywhere that you go, you face challenges. So if you're in a Methodist church, for me, it's a plus. Because the organization is teaching a lot of things. Me, I can't even stop Girls Scholarship because I learned a lot, and it is helping my home right now.
Wow.
So you should just have to be calm, ready to learn, then go on it. I think it will help us.
Thank you very much. I'm sure you are one of the wives from Girls Fellowship. But also, there is a comment here. Also, we understand what the church is doing about youth development, but one major problem stems from information getting down to the various society. Honestly, there are many instituted programs up there, but never get down to the society. And for some societies, also will intentionally get blind of it. Most of them are interested in something else. Oh boy, Ekutia, interested in what? Francis, you are calling from Gumwa Manso. Francis, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
All right, we are listening to you.
All right. I think that the youth has come far. If you are in a Methodist church, you are not at the wrong place. When you go to institutions and when you compare our leadership with leaders from other denominations, I mean, you could see that we have trained ours. They are equipped to lead almost in every circle. And so the Methodist Church is doing well. But I think that there is more that we can still do. To, as we are training them, we also give them chance. You see, sometimes in other, especially in the villages, there is a gap between the old and the young people.
Yeah.
Sometimes the old do not understand the zeal and the enthusiasm of the youth, and so they would want to deny them. When you come to the city, sometimes it's different, because the city, there are resource persons to guide them, groom them. But in the villages where we lack those resources to train them and groom them, that is what brings the gap. Okay. So I believe that we can put some attention there, so that we'll teach the old, especially the villages, to understand that they have been children, they have been the youths before. And if we do not bring them to ourselves and coach them, I'm citing an example. For example, you go to the...
Yeah, just under 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
All right.
A lot of your colleagues are calling.
Instead of for the choir organist to bring the young ones to him and teach them. They will say that when they give them the opportunity, they will spoil the piano and stuff. And so we see our youth playing at different churches, and along the line they will leave the church. So I believe that when we do that, we will have more from them.
Thank you very much. Your point well made. Also, Obed JC was talking about information trickling down. But what I want to ask you, will the Methodist young person now leave the church because you want to go and listen to prophecy or go and pray? I think gone were the days when people say people are leaving the church because they want a place that is hot. Is it the case?
Thank you very much. I have a lot to say, but
yeah, no. Also, say them.
I can't be able to say all of them,
yes,
but I just can one at a time. I would say basically when the fundamentals are weak, biblical fundamentals are weak, their adult life will expose them. How am I saying that? If we don't pay much attention to the children ministry, to put in them, or want a better word, indoctrinate.
I have Foster from Eburi. Okay. Foster, you are calling from Eburi.
Yes, please.
Are you a Methodist?
Yes, please, I'm a Methodist.
All right. Your society?
I'm from Wesley.
All right.
Wesley Society.
Let's hear you. Wesley where?
Wesley Society in Eburi.
All right. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so my submission will be on some of the church doing their best to help us, but when it comes to some of the ministers, I think they are a bit confused about some of the organizations, and sometimes want to add all of us up into one, calling us, oh, so whatever goes wrong in the church, if it is brigade, they always say MYF. So these are some of the educations that we need to give to our ministers for them to understand. And again, they also need to give us the free will to work and learn and make mistakes along the line so that we can also contribute our quota to the church.
All right, thank you. Free will, no. Giving free will. Gloria, let's come to you then. Also, you want to continue? Yeah, please, go ahead.
I was saying that when the biblical fundamentals are weak, the adult life will expose them. So can we pay much attention to the children ministry? Some of the children ministry don't even have a place to worship. Okay. They're under trees, some of them are under scorching sun, and the adults are in the air conditioning room. And then we don't imbibe in them, want a better word, indoctrinate them with a Methodist faith, want a better word. Let them understand the hymns, teach them very well. Let them appreciate what we do. If we let the fundamentals become very strong, when they grow to become youth, they appreciate what we do.
So who will do all these teachings?
It is for the leadership of the church to make sure that they have places of worship. Okay. Some of them have places of worship. Some of you don't have teachers to teach the young people. Okay. Anybody just enter the children ministry and start teaching. Let's be conscious in teaching their children to be able to know the Methodist faith very well. And when they grow, they appreciate what we do in the church. I believe strongly that that is the focal point. The children ministry is the focal point. Let's put much resources there. So when we do that well, other churches have catechism.
Okay. Osofo Daniel, the world.
Hello.
Osofo the world.
Oh, our parish.
Yes, you.
Osofo, Ofane to your day.
Oh, you're Jogba,
Jeche.
I'm your Jogba. Okay. One boat. Also for fine honey o volume abashifio kono boto e phone then.
Me trying to sleep in achim to fine.
Okay.
The madam the program is the madam of publication. Gloria money and supposed to have the money particular but me is like a professional community. I work community to improve the connection that circuit and then the society. It's a statement work. Me come obrantai at the end okay I'm say against moko emne wa ona metumo okay at the end bono oto ose we are GMO abitray more allo o ya fem and because of that war may as a point they are not willing to support the young people and therefore we have to look at this issue like I share money barriers where don't undermine don't undermine the person. We don't look at that.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yo, Makame. Also, for somebody is saying that the adult fellowship should leave us alone. No.
Thank you very much. So what I was saying, I'll just say with the children is let's focus much attention with them. Some of the ministers don't even go and visit the children.
We have our last caller. Richardson, you are calling from Accra. You are our last caller today. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay, right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Please go ahead. Which society are you calling from? And which young people's organization do you belong to?
Oh, youth.
Hello, my name is Richardson, and from Youth Fellowship.
Okay, sharp. Continue.
No, I have more than a youth fellowship. Yeah. For our students, it's very, but for the past year, from my perspective, the church has done what it has to do. It is now the young people to take up the responsibility and make sure that their is felt. So if you check last year from, let me say, of December, the kind of programs that are being done by young people in the church, we ourselves are not taking advantage of what that is given to us now. For my place. And so what we need to do now, intentional education for the young people know what the church has made available to them. And we conscientize their mind that now it is not like before. We now have form to do whatever we want to do. I'm not sure we have those ministers who help you that this you can't do that.
All right, Daniel, your line is really breaking. Just go off and try to see if you can come back again. All right, thank you very much, our callers. Osafo, you were making some comments.
Just to conclude, you see, so I was saying that if the ministers go and visit the children ministry, they understand and they recognize the cassock you are wearing. They appreciate it. But when we leave them for other people coming to their place and wearing a different kind of attire, suit and the rest, they don't really appreciate what we wear. A typical example is the gamsu. Now it's better, but first we leave them. They were on their own. They invite other apostles to come and preach for them. So when they even come home and we are wearing cassock, they can't appreciate it. But now the council coordinator has done so well.
That's right.
Most of the chairman, the president or chairman, are inviting Methodist ministers. Conscious effort to make sure the Methodist ministers are on your schedule. Let them appear. Let them exactly. You are doing so. I want to just admonish the church that let's budget for the young people. Okay. Sometimes they budget for them. It's on paper. But sometimes the young people write letter and take to the leaders and say there's no money. Yeah. And some complain, somebody say, do you talk for us? Like, I'm ready. I'm ready for you. But I have to balance it. The young people they send a letter that they are going for a program. They tell them there's no money. But later when they go, an adult bring a letter, organization bring a letter, they are going for a program, they give them the money. So what's the difference? Does it mean that they don't really cherish what the young people are doing? If you don't really cherish, can you educate them and shaping it for them? Rather than telling them there's no money, but they later on hear that an adult organization has come and you have given them the money where you told them there's no money. So let's be fair to them. And then again, let's make time for them. Let's make time for them. The elderly people don't have time. Most of them don't have time for them. I have to be careful. Most of them don't have time for them. Yeah. And again, let's make space for them. Space for them in a program. When they say they want to organize a program, let them understand the rationale behind it. Somebody want to organize a program, he has dubbed it a particular way. You don't understand it. Ask questions. When they tag their programs in a certain way, it's to attract their people. If you want to take into come meeting the rest, the young people will not come. They know what the young people want. They are tagging a particular like Rasmatas. You don't understand. It's the young people want to come and see that what is Rasmatas to understand it. But when you put it to retreat, the young people will not come. Yeah. The context is different. Let's make time for them. Yeah. And again, leadership opportunity. Let's poach some of them. Some of them are very quiet, timid. They look timid, but they are not timid. But then let's poach them. Let's put them as assistant class leaders.
The 30% of the leadership that conference endorsed.
I know others are doing. I can't speak for others, but I know Tema, we do it. The 30% assistant from assistant class leader, you learn, then you become a class leader. Yeah. This is what I want to say. And then let's consciously make disciples of the young people. Sometimes they wish to become like you. You were in St. Paul, some people want to become like you. If you have not gone down to them to liaise with them, they wouldn't know that Reverend Ajika is very friendly. Sometimes they come and the early people come with their frown face. You can't even get close to them. So what you have become, they can't aspire, they want to become like that, but they can't get close to you for you to teach them how you became. So adults, let's get close to them. And Papa, I hear certain words that always go through. I always go there, I won't say that word. The good old days. The good old days. That Papa, trust me, the olden days, we were not there. But trust me, what they were doing, the old people at that olden days, they didn't like what they were doing. Okay. But we were not there. But now we are here. They are telling us the good old days. We don't know what is there. That's what I pray that when I grow, I would say my good old days, because in my days there were things I was doing that the people didn't understand. But because they are not there, I'll brag that the good old days. But the good old days was not good old days. there were complaints. So
see?
I want to say that the young people, some of them, excuse my language, are a little hard. I wanted to use stubborn, but I won't use stubborn. A little hard. But trust me, even Saul in the Bible was hard. So a little push, a little nurture, a little disciple can make them better.
Right.
Can make them better.
Okay. Also, thank you. So, Gloria, let's have your last comment. I'm sure we'll bring the DYOs, DYOs. So, let's come. All right, Gloria, let's have your concluding statement.
Okay, I think DYO has said enough. But what I will say from a youth perspective is let us understand the youth. The youth, we are the backbone of the church. When you are not there, we are taking over. In fact, we are taking over whilst you are there. It's a gradual process. Oh, Debbie. See, our challenges. We don't have the opportunity to be in the pulpit. The reverends do have the opportunity. How we handle issues with the youth, that's why we have a drift in our youth leaving. Sometimes we are not right, but the way a minister will say it in the pulpit, it's so demotivating.
Is it not the same way your father or mother will say it?
But it's a pulpit.
Let me come in before she comes. Sometimes you realize that some of the leaders, I won't say ministers, some of the leaders, they shout at the young people, but their own children, they don't shout on them. So what's the difference?
Wow. Gloria.
It's the pulpit.
Yes.
This is congregation, service ongoing, and you go by saying youth for no. It will surprise you sometimes. There's no MYF members, though. It's not your fellowship. If our coolest crowd or hoba, we all have our fair share of the cake when it comes to we being treated that way in public.
I think I suggest we do a part 2 of this where we can maybe 2 hours and just digging deep and firing. Somebody say more fire. Yeah, so it's a discourse. The young people are trying to put their grievances across so we can help them and maintain them within the church. I want to thank my discussants. I know they are boiling, they have more things to say, but unfortunately,
I have one last thing to say. Yes.
One last. Okay, 30 seconds. One last.
When we bring our budgets, especially for evangelism-driven projects, and there is no money, we should say it in a nicer way. Maybe our budget is like 20K, and I'm expecting you to give me 10K or 15, and we don't have enough funds. No, don't say no money. There is money, but it's allocation. There is not enough funds, but this is what we can provide. At least let's meet halfway on the negotiation table. Other than we saying there's no money,
there is no money at all.
It's not encouraging.
Thank you. Viewers, that was Gloria Glover. Have I gotten it well? Korcho.
Yes.
All right. That is the Accra Diocesan MYF chairman. And with the hair is Osofo Gideon Osabote, the DYO of the Tema Diocese. Dear friends, thank you so much for coming. It's been a stimulating one. We hope there's another time to do the same thing again. This time 2 hours.
We are available.
We pray so.
We are available.
You are available, eh?
You are available.
You are available. All right. So before I say goodbye, there have been some very important text messages here that I quickly want us to go through. This is from our live Facebook streaming. We have from Kweku Ekuya Abigail, who is saying, Chairman 1, I love you, Sister Gloria. And King Kwe is also saying, haha, any reason is subjective. And we have King Kwe also saying, please also tell the adult fellowship to leave us alone. Yes, we have read that one. And we have here Ola Ebenezer saying, DY will talk for us. And then Ekuya Buedua, I'm watching you from the UK. Some of our societies don't help the young, especially MGF. We also have from Clement Osofo, we understand what the church is doing. We have read this as well. And very quickly, Ishmael Nanaya Blanks, and the church is really doing his possible best for us as young people. We should focus on the long-term results. And finally, Nana Kwabena Afo Jr., thank you, Reverend Duao. And it goes on and on and on and on. So many comments are coming. we could even hear from the studio the beeping of the phone. I know there's more fire behind. DYO firing, Gloria firing, members firing. It's all in the quest for growing the church and capacitating the Methodist young person to serve family, to serve Ghana, and also to go to heaven one day. We are not gone. We are drawing down the curtains on the segment, but Agro is coming. We are going to the pitch. Not too much good news. Yesterday, they finished us. But Agro, what's there? I saw there, Ija.